Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are going to do a series of videos with SSP members to get you excited about the upcoming SSP virtual conference, February 23rd through the 25th. We want to make sure that you guys register early. All the information on how to do that will be included in the email that you see today. Our first in this series of videos is with SSP member Ryan Garrison. Ryan's going to talk about 4 tips that he has for building your initial client base. So Ryan, I'm going to throw it to you. What's tip number 1?
Thank you, Chris. Tip number 1 is be yourself. First few years in the business, I tried to be a lot of things and realized that there are JDs or CFPs or people out there that have different strengths than I do. So my first strength was, what am I good at? And really, it's pretty simple. I like to socialize. I like to network. So I realized early on that I had to get out, meet some trial lawyers because I do plaintiff work only, and genuinely find people that I like that like me back, right? Not try to be something I wasn't to connect with everyone, but to grow that niche market genuinely through relationships.
Wonderful. Tip number 2, Ryan.
In that same vein, I think it's important to find your team, right? I've been with Ringler, I've been with Atlas, we're our own brokerage now. But even in our own brokerage, what are other brokers or advisors that could add value to my team and vice versa, that I could add value to their team? We have a great group of people on our team at JCR, some CFPs, some lawyers, some people that have other strengths where I'm capable as a financial advisor. I'm securities licensed, but I also find that I learn through SSP members as well, right? And my team constantly learning, constantly trying to better myself, learning about different products and processes.
That's great advice. We're halfway there. Tip number 3, Ryan.
We're keeping it short. Be prepared, right? This business has thrown me a lot of ups and downs. First 3 to 5 years when I open a new state, even today, I've been doing this 15 years. If I open a trial lawyers at an annual conference in a state I've never been at, it's like infancy. It's like starting all over again. So always be prepared for that and be prepared to lose some really big cases and be prepared to win some really big cases that weren't even on your radar, right? Last year, I was pretty fortunate. This year, I was counting on a big one. And while I was a party to that, there was some other relationships with attorneys and conservators I didn't have control over through no fault of my own that got involved, and maybe what I thought would happen wasn't fully realized. So I think you've got to be able to roll with those punches and be prepared for everything this business can bring.
No doubt about that. And what about your final tip?
The only reason I think I'm successful, if you can call it that, is don't quit, right? Sheer force of personality. You win some, you lose some, you stay positive. I think I read somewhere, and it might have been a Ringler quote or a John Macker quote, that the industry average, we only close 30 or 40% of the cases referred to us. So when I realized the average broker or settlement advisor isn't closing 50-50, right? It's not even a coin flip, that you're going to lose more than you win. It changes your mindset, right? You don't quit, you keep showing up and everything works out, or at least it has for me. And I think part of that don't quit is when you open a state for the first 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you've got to set, I think, a boundary or a cost expense to say, at what point do I stop? And if I'm not overspending, maybe I can continue this sponsorship or this association for 5, 6, 7 years until they see the value I add and they add the value back.
Well, that's great, Ryan. Thanks so much for sharing these nuggets of information and tips. Remember, we're going to do a series of these leading up to February 23rd through the 25th. Make sure you register for the conference. Look forward to it. Thanks again, Ryan.
Thank you, Chris.